Hello, I'm Sean Kent Hayashi. In this video, you'll learn about conflict resolution and why it's an important competency to develop if you want to become a star performer, grow to the next level, or become a more inspiring leader. I'm an executive coach and a high-performing teams consultant. I work with organizations of all sizes, from family-owned businesses and entrepreneurial startups to industry-leading organizations. I help leaders and teams become high-performing together. The team I work with has identified 25 competencies needed to lead collaborative, innovative, and resilient teams. Today, we're going to cover conflict resolution. You'll learn how to understand, address, and resolve conflict constructively. Let's dive in. In my book, Conversations for Change, 12 Ways to Say It Right When It Matters Most, I outline 12 different types of conversations for working in professional environments today. One of those conversations is a conversation for conflict resolution. When conversations for conflict resolution are missing, people lose respect for their managers, peers, and colleagues. The organization loses the ability to solve problems that could help the organization grow. And hard feelings may turn into resentment and diminish the likelihood of reaching goals. Teams are not able to perform at their best. If we have a culture that doesn't support conflict resolution, we won't have the innovation that brings future wealth. So why does conflict occur? We all have different perspectives, goals, and dreams. And those differences can often collide. Conflict can also occur when we don't know who owns the final decision. When we catch ourselves feeling that we have a different perspective or that we're at cross purposes with someone, it's useful to ask who owns the right to make this decision? Who has accountability for this? When there's confusion about who owns the decision, then it's usually time for a conversation for conflict resolution. Use this type of conversation when someone ignores an issue that's important to you, or when you notice yourself ignoring an issue that's important to a stakeholder in your work. Use this type of conversation when you need to express and explore differences of opinion or ideas, when you notice chronic tension in a relationship and a pattern of silence or passive aggressiveness. You want to find a path to agreement. You want solutions. Before you begin a conversation for conflict resolution, first identify which type of conflict are you experiencing. It may be me with myself, or it could be me with another person, or it could be between two other people and I feel like I'm caught in their conflict, mom and dad, or the head of sales and the head of marketing, the head of operations, the head of finance. A team where many people are not in agreement and have varying ideas, or organizational conflict across departments or teams. Next, decide who you need to hold the conversation with. That's easy when we need to hold ourselves accountable for something. But when we have a difficult topic that we need to discuss with someone else, fear often stops us from taking the right action. Symptoms of fear include wearing blinders, not seeing an issue, giving in, acquiescing, and ignoring our own needs, feeling numb, lacking clarity about what the real goals are, or thinking, I can't handle this, and submerging our feelings. My videos on emotional intelligence will give you clear direction on how to process yourself through fear. But the bottom line is this: stay focused on creating solutions. Describe the outcomes you want to experience. Don't focus on what's wrong or blame others by rubbing their noses in it. Simply ask for what you want instead of saying, Jim, You are a jerk when you keep interrupting Holly every time she speaks. Why do you do that? This approach will create defensiveness. But if you clearly ask for what you want, you're much more likely to experience a solution. I could say, hey, in the future, it would be really helpful if we could have just one conversation going on at a time rather than 2 or 3 different conversations in a meeting. Let's make sure we really deeply listen to each other. To bring this alive now for yourself, stop and ask, what's something you're feeling anxious or conflicted about? What is a desired outcome you want to experience? Who do you need to talk to ask for that desired outcome? And what am I resisting? What would it look like if I were willing to explore new ideas with curiosity instead of resistance? Can I move into a conversation for new possibilities? Yes, you might have guessed. A conversation for new possibilities is one of the other 12 types of conversations that I share in my book, Conversations for Change. We don't have to fear conflict and cause it to shut us down or create confused thinking. Instead, we can learn to focus on the outcomes we want and then make decisions that move us in that direction. You don't have to fear conflict and stay stuck in resentment or confusion. Identify who owns the decision and then use these questions to keep thinking and moving forward. Here's my coaching challenge for you. Create clarity about the roles and accountabilities for each team member. Define who owns the decision. Define what the solution looks like. What is the vision you want to experience? Describe that in detail for yourself and others. When you do own the decision, communicate it clearly to all the key stakeholders. Master the decision-making competency. If this is something you struggle with, please watch my video on decision-making. You'll find it linked below. When you don't own the decision, seek to understand and share your perspective in a respectful manner. Be willing to influence the decision maker if you have insights that add to their understanding of the big picture. Make peace with the decision and move forward. Learn from your experiences. Conflict management is knowing how to identify, address, and resolve conflict constructively. Like any of the 25 competencies, it's a skill that you can learn and then master. If you would like guidance, direction, and accountability in developing new skills for yourself or your whole team, I'd be delighted to talk with you. If you'd like to take an assessment to discover your ranking of the 25 competencies, please reach out to me. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. To learn more about the Professional Development Group, please check out our website at theprofessionaldevelopmentgroup.com. Thanks for joining me today.